Hey, 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 do you like my Christmas hat? Hey, it's Christine, confidence coach and mum of a beautiful 1-year-old. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can come across as assertive without being rude or disrespectful or feeling uncomfortable, so that you can make sure that you get your needs met when it comes to possible interventions during your pregnancy. This is a juicy one, so stay tuned. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually be assertive and get your voice heard by all health professionals during your pregnancy, especially if there are chances of you having an intervention during your pregnancy. Just to give you a bit of a background story, during my pregnancy, towards the end of my pregnancy, the health professionals noticed that my baby's growth had reduced, and they were concerned that my baby would may need support during birth, and so they wanted to induce me. So basically, I used this method that I'm going to show you right now and teach you right now and break down to you, to make sure that I felt like me and my husband were the ones making the decision, because sometimes we can feel like we give our power away to the health professionals, and we don't feel like we're getting our voices heard, our concerns heard, and sometimes we can end up following an intervention recommended by the health professionals, and then once we've had that intervention, we regret it, or we experience some anxiety during the whole process, and it could be a very difficult situation to be in. And so I just want to teach you this framework, this super simple framework that will allow you to go into that doctor's office, get all your questions answered, so that you can make your own informed decision, and that it allows you to work as a team with the health professionals rather than being almost feared into the possible intervention, rather than feeling like the doctors are the ones with the ball in the court, and you're just kind of there floating, confused, unsure, and you're not feeling too like your voice is being heard, and you're not really feeling like you're both working in partnership. So this framework is super useful. Me and my husband used it when we were going through this process of whether we have an induction or not, and we really felt very empowered. We felt like we had some control over the decision, and it allowed us to have a beautiful birth experience as well. So let me break it down to you. So this will be super useful if you know that you're probably going to have an intervention or possibly have a cesarean, and it's not something that you had planned in your birth plan, and you just want to make sure that you've got all your areas covered and that you make an informed decision that is right for you and your baby. Alrighty, so the first thing I want you to do is grab a quick piece of pen and paper. I'm not going to get you to write loads of notes, but I need you to write down this one word. And this one word I want you to write, have you got your pen and paper? Is brain. So I want you to write down the word brain, and the way that I want you to write it is a bit like this. So it should come up on the side here. So it's just on the side, so B-R-A-I-N. I had to think about that for a second. B-R-A-I-N, and just have it laid out on the side here. So not in a line, but just literally on the side, so that you can write down words next to each letters, because brain is an acronym that I'm going to break down for you, that you're going to use, and it's super easy to remember, and you can literally bring a pen and paper with you when you're speaking to the health professionals, and have brain in front of you so that you follow the acronym. So the first thing I want you to do when you're talking to the health professionals, this will help you to have the confidence to come across as assertive, get the information that you need, and then go away and make your own informed decisions, all right? Without coming across as pushy or rude or aggressive, alrighty? And I'm telling you, the health professionals will be quite impressed by you, and they'll give you a lot more information than you would have otherwise had if you hadn't asked them these questions using this acronym. So let me dive into it. The first letter is an acronym for benefits. So let me use my example as a scenario. So when the doctors advise us to have an induction, we sat down and we asked them, okay, we followed the framework. I literally had this brain written down, and I was writing notes as they were talking to me, and I was asking them, what are the benefits of this induction? So if we were to decide to have an induction, what are the benefits? can't remember word for word what they said, but they basically said that we have more control over your birth experience. We can help baby during the birthing process, and we get the baby out earlier because we don't know what exactly is going on inside right now, and it's the safest, blah 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 blah. And they just gave me loads of information and they answered that question. Then the next word that you want to answer within the acronym is R. So R is for risks. So what are the risks of having an induction? So you would ask them, what are the risks of having an induction? Or maybe in another case, what are the risks of having a cesarean? Or what are the risks of having an epidural? Whatever it is that you are, whatever the topic is for you in terms of intervention, you replace it with that, obviously. So what are the risks of X? So in my case, what are the risks of having an induction? This really will help you to make informed decisions. You've now got the benefits, you've got the risks. And then the next thing you want to ask is, what are the alternatives? Now this is super important, and this is something that we don't always get told by the health professionals, because some of us as patients, we give all our power away to the health professionals, believing that they're playing God, when they're not. They're human, and they're the ones with the information. If we don't ask them, they won't necessarily tell us, right? So we need to know what the alternatives are, because there are always alternatives. And the alternatives they used for my case was that I would go into hospital pretty much every day to monitor baby, make sure baby is okay and growth is okay up until the birth of my baby. That was the alternative. I would go there every day to check on baby. And they would say, oh, and it's funny, I even remember the response from the consultant who said, okay, so we could do that, but we'd never know. We may check your baby tomorrow at 11, but we don't know how she's doing by the evening time. So it really I felt even more and more anxious with the alternative. But anyways, that's just me going on about my story. But it's really good that I was able to know what the alternative is, rather than go, okay, right, let's have an induction. Because otherwise I wouldn't have known. I would have had to maybe look it up, or talk to a friend who maybe had gone through an induction, if I'm lucky, or fell upon the information some other way. But I had to ask them, otherwise I would not have found out what the alternative is. So that's super important. The next stage of brain is the I, which is intuition. So once you've got your benefits, the risks and alternatives, you would then you could then tap into your intuition and find out, what is it that you're feeling, what is it that sounds right, what is it that resonates with you. You may need to go away and take some time to do that. So what you could ask, as you're tapping into your intuition, is you go straight onto N. N is for nothing. So you could ask the doctors, okay, so what if we decided to do nothing? Because nothing is still a decision, nothing is still an action, right? So me and my husband asked the consultant, what if we decided to not have an induction, to not even do the alternative option, and just allow the pregnancy to progress as it is, naturally? And they said, well, you would just give birth, and then we would make do with the consequences. So they answered that question because that is still an action, a decision. And you don't necessarily, the beauty of the end part is that you don't necessarily have to ask them that, but you can use that as basically the stage where you would go away, you've now got the benefits, you've now got the risks, you've now got the alternatives. You would then say, thank you so much, doctor, for your information. Me and my husband, or me and my partner, we're now going to go away and think about this. Can we get back to you tomorrow, or in 2 days, or in the next hour? Right? And that's exactly what me and my husband did. We went away, we took our time, we took about a week to go away and think about it. We spoke to our midwife, we spoke to our hypnobirthing teacher, which is where I got this source from, actually, brain. I got them from a hypnobirthing course that I did a while ago. So we really went away and thought about it, and we tapped into our intuition and what felt right for us. Especially because we originally wanted a home birth. We wanted our birth to be as natural, with minimal interventions as possible. So you can imagine it went from natural birth plan to possible intervention, a complete shift. So we really took our time to make that decision, because we knew it was a very, very important one. And we only had our baby's best interest at heart as well. So this allows you to do that. This allows you to step away with that information and make your own informed decision. And it really allows you to tap into your own power and decide on what works for you, and take that time to reflect before you make such a big decision. Because sometimes doctors will use big words like emergency and you know, this could be threatening for you and the baby, or dangerous, and these really heavy negative words. But remember, they're just words. But obviously, I know it sounds like I'm sounding a little bit pessimistic when it comes to health professionals. I had an amazing experience with the health professionals, and I'm so grateful for them, absolutely grateful. But you have to remember that you have a voice too, and you need to be well informed. And the only way to really do that is to ask the correct questions. So use this acronym to get the information that you need, get yourself informed, get yourself feeling empowered so that you can make the right decision for you and your baby, so that when it comes to that decision, you won't have any regrets in the end. So we decided as a couple to go ahead with the induction, because I then felt safer having her in hospital compared to having her at home, because it just felt like, okay, everything is going well throughout the pregnancy. However, there's this issue of growth. I'd rather be around the professionals just in case and have a peace of mind. So I need that peace of mind, and I decided to go through the induction, and I haven't regretted it since. Baby was born absolutely fine. We had an amazing birth experience, and one of the reasons why it was so amazing is because we were so adamant to go away and think about it, to ask the right questions. We were assertive. They sensed that we weren't your typical couple. Like, we very much had our own mind. So our midwife actually went out the extra mile, and she got us in touch with an out of guideline consultant. She literally arranged for us to have our baby in the home from home. They don't ever usually have inductions in the home from home department, but because they knew that we wanted a natural birth, she said, I'm going to give you this experience, and then when baby's about to come out, you're just going to go next door, just in case, where the doctors hang out, just in case a doctor is needed. And a doctor wasn't needed in the end, but I felt like that was amazing. They really went above and beyond to find a compromise for us, and I really believe that it's because we used brain. They took us seriously, and we worked in partnership rather than a hierarchy of doctors and patient. It really was a team effort between me and my husband and the health professionals, and that's the type of experience I want you guys to have as well, because it's super important. You as mother are the one that's carrying your baby. You know your body well, you know your baby best, and you can tap into your intuition to make the right decision for you and your partner. Regardless of the outcome, at the end of it, at least you know that you've made an informed decision and it was coming from you, and that you can take the full responsibility for that. So I hope that super helps. I will leave I'll leave the acronym below as well, and I'll leave any questions. If you've got any questions, leave them below in the comments, and share your experiences of what it's been like during your pregnancy. Have you faced, or are you about to face, any interventions? And let me know if you've used brain and how it's helped you, because it can give you a really positive experience. Okay, so interventions do not have to be negative, but you really need to know that you can be assertive, you can have your own power, and you can work in partnership with health professionals rather than hierarchy, right? So I hope that helps. Please leave your questions below. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and I lastly want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, because it's nearly Christmas soon. Getting all Christmas festive in my Christmas hat. I'm just watching myself here. Oh yeah, not bad. So I'm wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you very soon anyways in the next video. I'm sending you lots of love, and use brain to get yourself heard and to get yourself and your baby's needs met. Alrighty, much love. I'll see you soon. Ciao.